What's up, YouTube? This is my first video. It's probably going to be a little bit rough since I don't have any kind of experience speaking into a camera like this. But first and foremost, I do want to introduce myself. My name is Tristan, and this channel is just really going to serve as mostly a stream of consciousness. This is going to be a really big focus on fitness, but I also do want to talk about some philosophical concepts and a lot of psychological concepts as well. I want a bit of my nerdier side to show through, so I'm going to try to word things in a way that people like me can understand, I guess, whenever I can. But either way, it was a really big decision to write a script and go through recording. I mean, I've kind of just been terrified to talk on camera, to be honest. I've wanted to do it for a while, but yeah, I finally decided to pull the trigger. So if you could like and subscribe, it would really, really have my appreciation. Just support the channel. So as for the topic of this video, getting your goal physique really isn't as hard as you think. So being in the fitness sphere for as long as I have, doing coaching, responding to questions almost like all day on social media, the number one trip up that I see nowadays is not like a lack of knowledge or anything like that. It's actually too much knowledge or too much overthinking. So what I mean by that is like people will have an idea in mind of what they want to look like, what they want to achieve, not just in fitness, but kind of like anywhere in life. And they'll even have the motivation and the time to do so. Specifically for fitness, I really think that everybody has the time to do so because realistically, it's not any more than like an hour or two out of your day, like at the very, like 2 hours at the very most. But I digress, that's gonna be for another video. So like, why don't people get started on this? Nowadays, I think that when you want to get started on something, it's just a habit to just Google like every little thing about it. Researching topics is great and all, but honestly, for something like fitness, it could be a massive hindrance. It just leads to people making excuses for themselves. Whenever you Google kind of any topic about fitness, you're just met with so much info, like right and wrong, first off. I mean, that's already one thing that you're going to be overthinking of. Like, is this info I'm receiving accurate? You're going to hear a bunch of gimmicks, supplements that you probably don't need, especially if you're just starting out, and the list just goes on. This just already creates kind of like a negative relationship with fitness, a negative relationship with the information related to it. It's really just like, it's way too much to handle, and it just kind of causes this paralysis by analysis. And not only that, but companies and fitness influencers realize this, and they'll intentionally just use jargon, just stupid vocabulary that really isn't needed. It's going to complicate the process, and it just makes fitness seem like this massive undertaking when in reality it's not, and it really never has been. All you really need is the basics. Most people would agree that when you start the gym, there's going to be a lot of anxiety. I mean, as a coach, you can't tell me how many times that I've heard, like, I'm afraid that people are looking at me, I'm afraid that people are perceiving me, and I don't want to feel out of place or do the wrong thing. So you already have that going. You don't really need anything else on your mind besides getting up and going to the gym. And this is just another thing that influencers and companies take care of. They take advantage of, I'm sorry. But how many videos have you seen where it's like people are recording others in the gym doing the wrong thing? It never happens, by the way. But it's just another thing that just drives up your anxiety. It gets them clicks, and yeah, it's just not, it's a mess. It's honestly a mess. So what is the solution that I've come to? Just stop thinking about it so much and just go ahead and do it. Like, it's really just that simple. I mean, I'm making a video about this whole topic and it seems silly, but I really think that the number one thing that would benefit people trying to get into lifting, bodybuilding, like honestly anything you really want to do that isn't like this crazy like intellectual undertaking, because I can understand the research and that. But for the gym, you should just go in, walk in knowing nothing, pick the body parts you want, and just start training. I mean, it's just like if you've ever played like certain video games, people recommend that you do a blind playthrough, like Dark Souls, for instance, or just any kind of game where exploration is like a big part of the experience. If you played Skyrim and you looked up like all the different stuff to do, it's just super overwhelming, and honestly, you would have a better time playing, in my opinion, if you just went in blind and just explored. I mean, that's the move, right? So going in blind is going to do two things for you. So one, you're going to find the things that you actually enjoy. So this makes you not only look like you know what you're doing because you're going to be more confident in yourself, but it's going to build a positive relationship with fitness rather than that experience of just constantly looking things up, and before you know it, you're researching before you you spend more time researching than you have spent in the gym itself, which is like insane, right? The thing is, when you're a beginner, literally anything that you do is going to give you results. So like you could literally like walk on a treadmill or run on a treadmill and your legs are going to grow from that. So why are you worrying about like fancy exercises, supplements, and doing everything in this optimal way? It's not necessary. And that leads into my next point. You should really just like be encouraged to explore and just do whatever you want in the gym. Like it's just like it's a key part of the process that's just missing nowadays. People will just Google like exactly what to do and follow it like a robot, and they're kind of stripping all the enjoyment out of the process for themselves. And in the long term, that's gonna screw you over way more than just like messing up, maybe like messing up exercise selection or messing up your reps or your intensity or any of that stuff. That can come later, because as long as you're in there putting in the work, that's gonna be the main thing that you want to do. It's very simple. I honestly think that like overthinking is a huge issue nowadays with more than just lifting. I mean, it's great that we have all this infinite knowledge at our fingertips through technology, but I mean, what's the Spider-Man quote? With great power comes great responsibility, right? And you'll drive yourself up the wall like trying to learn every single little thing about any topic. And I think that nowadays we just need less thinking and more doing. It's just good to put the brakes on when you're getting into something new and just start where you stand. That's what's going to build long-term habits for you. Having fun with it and figuring out things by yourself is very enjoyable. Like, especially with fitness, like I said, you're going to make the fastest progress of your life in those first 6 months by just literally applying yourself and just gaining that real world experience. It's honestly just a waste of time to try to research all this like crazy stuff you don't need. And that time is just better spent training. You could be in the gym training instead of looking stuff up or like fantasizing about like your goal physique and like body and how to get there. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's pretty much like all the points I wanted to talk about in this video. And I want you guys to just keep in mind, if you're like an advanced trainee, like you've been lifting for years and years and years, that's where the research and stuff comes in. You're already fully engrossed in the process. You don't even need motivation to walk into the gym and get it done. That's when you have to start twisting the basics to your needs. But a lot of people aren't in that situation. I think that 99% of people just quit before they even finish 2 years at the gym. And in those first 2 years, you should be exploring and doing things yourself. All right, so that's pretty much it for the first video. I mean, I plan to just kind of keep them all like this. It's just going to be me talking to the camera. I'm going to keep editing to like a very bare minimum. And like, as I said, just stream of consciousness, minimal script. I just want somewhere to kind of share my thoughts on these things, and I think it's going to be very enjoyable. All right, see you guys in the next one.